All right, might as well jump in. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's going well tonight. So tonight we've got a few things on that I want to actually get done. We've got to figure stuff out. Let's jump straight into it. So to do what we've got to do is we're going to have to write March's goals. It'll be a small blog post because, we don't have a lot. In fact, the research functionality, I'm thinking of not doing that. I'm thinking of just focusing on the improvements, and then we're going to start planning them sprints. So yeah, that's going to be tonight's little stream. So let's jump straight into it. I am jumping into here. Let's create a blog. Let's actually duplicate this. Let's go and see our old. So we tend to copy a similar sort of format. Now I should get rid of these working documents once this is all done and so forth like that. Now the retrospective I am still writing. I am sorry, this is the 4th of March. I am terribly sorry. I've just been really, really exhausted. Just didn't do it on the weekend. So the retrospective is coming. So first things first, let's create a single blog. Let's pick an image that we like. I've got to get a couple more images. So yeah, I don't think we've used the roof for a while. And I'm not gonna color it at all. This would be development blog. Usually this is okay, so the release of the branch can now allow us to do multiple, to create sprints and Gantt charts. All right, so I'm just going to hit save. And the reason being is we've got what's called save and preview. All right, it's not, oh wait, I've got to allow pop-ups. Okay, simple. Ooh, that image did not compress well. I might change that image. That image is, yeah. Oof. It's God. Yeah, I'm just going to change that image. I've done the ways. It's been a while since we've used the hermit crab. There you go. So first off, we do an alert block. The alert block is going to be the same sort of news. Yes, published version. This is just going to be an info. All right, cool. We're done with that. So usually how we break this down is we've got the bug thing. So we'll just go bug, counter bugs. We're just placing that in. All right, cool. The next thing we want to do is the usual aims. So yeah, what I want to do going to do that. I'm going to paste it in. the one problem is, and hey, BC Aura, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. The one thing is, I do want to change up this wording. These usual aims never change because they're always going to be the aims for that particular month. But I just want to keep them in to remind people we're doing this and so forth like that. And then we cross them out as we feel like we've tackled enough for that particular month. So I need to just get rid of these. Like so, and then we'll hit the wrong button then. That was my bad. Okay, so the usual aims. Okay. With the release of 0.31 branch, we are going to focus more on full site testing, bug fixing, and improved documentation. It has come to our knowledge that there currently is a large section of documentation in NearBeach that needs to be written up. The usual aims are, and then so forth at that. You're doing okay looking for a job and got a new computer, though downgrade. Oh, damn, about downgrade. But good that you got a new computer. I very rarely buy computers. So I got one. So I got one when I was 21, a desktop. Now, I exclude laptops from this because usually I get laptops every 3 years for laptops. Fast enough? Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that's what you kind of need. I got another one when I was 29 or 28. 28. And I got one again last year for the desktop. Your least okay, at least your last computer. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I was lucky. So I've got an M1 laptop. When did I buy it? Years ago. I bought it years ago. And I'll probably keep that for another several years. Oh yeah, I've got the drop. You can also do your own little emojis with it, but there's a cooldown. So I think the cooldown's 5 minutes. So yeah. I'm just having a look. Sorry, I'm looking at the video, which is alright, cool. Which is rather delayed for me. So yeah. Anyway, so we're going to do the usual aims. We are also... Oh, I just want to... Actually, no, I don't have... All right. Actually, I want to do... Do I want to do page visible? Let's have a look at what... So we've got that at the moment. Yeah, I want to do a small little... And I'm just going to download that. And hey, the bot that I know, how are you doing? I'm doing good, actually. It was a productive day. Ended up trying to search for a particular bug at work and getting nowhere at the moment. So hopefully tomorrow I will get more done. So yeah, we're just writing up our blog at the moment. So this is the March 2024 goals. So yeah, we're just doing that at the moment. So we need the blogs, we need March 2024. We're going to upload a document. We've got the screenshots, which should be under downloads. And then that was today. I think. Yeah, there it is. How are you going, Bob? Hopefully you're also going well. A screenshot of the new diagnostic tools. Okay, cool. So if I'm going to save and preview, that's looking good. We've updated on the 1st. All right, sweet. Usual aims. We've got this. All right, cool. And then usually we do improvements to NearBeach, but we're not. Just these are features though. These aren't improvements. So it'll be new features for NearBeach. So in here, what we want is page header, new features for NearBeach. Umbraco looks neat. First time hearing about it. Oh yeah, it's pretty neat. So we use it heavily at work. If you've never used it before, wait, I'll open up a little, I'll go into the settings. You actually kind of build up pages using document type. So I've got content blocks, which then I put them in something else. And then for example, with the blog posts, what I've got is I've got set up all these properties, which I can then manipulate on the page. What else? I've also got, I forgot, header text, header copy. That's the hero. There's other things like their content pages. There, okay, that's what I'm after. Where I've got content blocks where I link up all those different doc types in here. So if I edit this, here's all this and stuff like that. So yeah, it takes a bit of setting up. It's not like WordPress where you start straight away. It's like, if we're going with the WordPress terminology, it's like having advanced custom fields and then building, writing the CMS around it. There's still a lot of development you need to do with Umbraco. But I like it. It's good for that too. So you'll actually see me develop using Umbraco on here every now and then. I can get to my pages. So for example, I've got my, you'll set up all of this and so forth. So yeah. All right, so new features for NearBeach. How am I going to write this? So I'm just going to, in here, just write this. So we've got the start Gantt chart. We've got the start, the sprints, and Podman containers. So I kind of want to start with the Podman containers first. So you do not have the wrong screen showing. All right, cool. I don't have the wrong screen showing, I think. It's easy to confuse me. I've been working all day. All right. We'll just do a drop. So, with NearBeach features, what Usually I'll start a little paragraph being like the following list, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, fair enough. No, don't worry. I'm just, it's the end of the day. My brain's like powering down. So, yeah. All right. So, new features for NearBeach. I don't want to be like the following features we want to start or something like that. I kind of want to give it something nice, and this is where we'll probably go here, and we'll talk about the golden circle. So usually people go out, in, what, how, and why. All right, so usually when people write stuff or something like that, they go like this. We want to go like this. We want a why first, then how, and then if we need what, we can use what. So why? People need to deploy NearBeach in Podman containers. How? Implementing Podman containers. And what is... Man, containers are different. Like Docker. Alright, so we've got a basic sort of structure. That's for the Podman containers. So I'm just... This is very, very basic sort of writing. Bear with me. Can't... Chart, why people like to visualize how their projects so the dependencies, relationships. All right, cool. Project schedule to visualize their project's schedule. How? Using Gantt charts that are essentially bar charts that show the relationship between the project's tasks, etc. And what? Yes. And then sprints. Maybe not. Why projects are easier when broken up into smaller achievable components. Any issues in that sprint can be solved in the next sprint, blah, blah, blah. Why? How? Implementation of sprints in NearBeach. And what? Yes, we don't need what. All right. So, the next few months of NearBeach development will be dealing with the following 3 new features that we want to implement into NearBeach. And then this is where we write in Podman container, Gantt charts, and sprints. All right, the next few months, NearBeach development will be dealing with the following 3 new features that we want to implement into NearBeach. Now, do I need another paragraph after that? The next few months of NearBeach's development will be dealing with the following new features. All right. Sorry, I can word this better. I'm terrible with writing, by the way, so yeah, this will take some time. I'm terribly sorry if you're bored of this. So the next few months of NearBeach NearBeach's development, we'll be dealing with the following 3 new features. These features are rather large and will consume the vast majority of development time. We are, however, looking forward to their deployment, as they are required features that we need for us to project management NearBeach's development. Dog fooding at its best. Eating your own dog food at its best. And this is where we go. Dog fooding. Eat your own dog food. And we'll just... what I'll do... I'm going to save and preview that. All right, that didn't work how I wanted it to. Screenshots and features actually has that. Yep. No funding. Show hyperlink. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding in a class, show hyperlink. Oh, I didn't mean to publish it. Oops. Unpublish. Cool. Save and preview was what I was meant to click on. All right, cool. So, yeah, there you go. In your own dog food edits, yeah. And then what I'll do, I'll get rid of those. Those won't be needed. So, we now need a Y. So, let's, what is Podman documentation? I'm going to yank this out. Containers. So down here, container. Podman. NearBeach can current be deployed using Docker. However, it is not. However, Docker is not the only application that can serve. That can. I'll come back to this thought. So, yep. So, why would we want to use Podman? NearBeach, to make it easy. Why? To make it easy to deploy. All right, that's why. Why? To make it easy to upgrade. Upgrade, yep. New technology. Docker and Podman have changed landscape when it comes to deploying applications. to say it has made, they have made it, have removed a lot of the complexity around the deployment of NearBeach. Of said applications. Sorry, I'm just, why? We want to, one of our goals in the 0.29, oh, was it 0.29 branch or the 0.30 branch? 0.30 branch was to make NearBeach as easy as possible to install. We have succeeded with this using Docker. However, we want to offer the choice of utilizing Podman as well. Now, how? Over the next few weeks, we will be implementing Podman containers for a NearBeach install. What does it mean? This will mean users will now have the choice of using either Docker or Podman to deploy their NearBeach application. All right, sweet. Okay, I kind of like that. I'm gonna save and preview. So it's very basic. Podman containers. Docker and Podman have changed the landscape when it comes to deploying applications. They have removed a lot of the complexity around the deployment of said applications. One of our goals in the 0.30 branch was to make NearBeach as easy as possible to install. We have succeeded with this using Docker. However, we want to offer the choice of utilizing Podman as well. Over the next few weeks, we will be implementing Podman containers for a NearBeach install. This will mean users will now have the choice of either using Docker or Podman to deploy their NearBeach application. All right, I think that sounds okay. Now, this one, Gantt charts or Gantt charts. Let's just do a quick read up. I reckon there's a couple of words in here which we can probably take. So Gantt charts are about that illustrates project schedule. So over here we'll go project schedule. All right. Modern Gantt charts also show the dependency relationships. Between activities in the current schedule. All right, cool. Project schedule. The chart lists the tasks to be performed on a vertical axis. Yep. All right. Cool. We won't go into depth about this. Gantt charts are sometimes equivalent to var charts. Gantt charts usually created initially at the early start. Yep. All right. Sweet. So we might say map out projects and tasks. Okay, cool. Easy done. Okay. So what we now need, we'll put sprints first, but I'll deal with the Gantt charts first because I'm here. Okay. Sometimes project management is a complex beast and very hard. Is a complex beast which needs to be visualized to understand. Gantt charts will give you a bar chart that can map out projects and tasks against current time frame. What did we say? Against Gantt charts will give you a bar chart that can map out how. All right, no, let's do the why. Sometimes project management is a complex beast which needs to be visualized to understand. So that's our why. How will be using Gantt charts are essential. Using Gantt charts are essential as it will show the tasks / projects relationship against the schedule. Fun fact, NearBeach used to have Gantt charts in it a long time ago, but we ripped them out. They weren't implemented right anyway. This is with the delete, where I deleted the code back in August 2020. Such a long time ago now. So yeah. All right. Using Gantt charts are essential as it will show the task / projects relationship against the schedule. Users will be able to modify start / end dates for these projects, tasks to better manage users' times. Or time frames. Times. User time. I don't think we need much of this. We can sort of elaborate a little bit more. Currently, we will be implementing Gantt charts at the following levels. We'll go requirements, projects, and sprints. However, this may change during the development, and we might add in more functionality. All right, cool. Save and preview. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. No, cancel. Piss off that green thing. All right, however, this might change during development as we have yet to fully plan this new feature. All right, so sprints. All right, I'm just gonna delete all of this now because we don't need it. All right, cool. Let's go sprints. Small time-based units. Or time-boxed iterations. No, time-based. All right. Good for assessing progress. And hey, Nocturnal, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. I am currently just writing the March goals for 2024. And we are going to start the sprints and the Gantt charts, or Gantt charts, or however you pronounce them. We're also going to look at the Podman containers. So, yeah. All right, why? Projects are easily broken up into smaller components. All right, so what's other good whys for why to use sprints? So, agile and easier to change. Why? Yeah. So let's not start with a what. Let's start with a why. So why? Why sprints? All right. I did a workout yesterday and my legs are jelly. Fair enough. I went to the gym and because I want to go to Mount Fuji. I want to climb Mount Fuji. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go use the stair machine. And yeah, it's that part of the gym's been sort of cornered off and stuff. And I was like, damn. I was going to climb the stairs. And I didn't. Hopefully, they say March the 8th, Wednesday. After Wednesday, it'll open again. So, yeah, they said it's closed Wednesday. Actually, Wednesday and Thursday, I think they said it was closed. So I'll probably go Friday morning, hopefully, if I wake up. All right, sprints. What's a good why? Okay, any project needs to be split up into smaller components. No, that's a what? That's, yeah, I'm trying to go for a why here. Projects are usually very large and no. It's a common way of working. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the why. So I'm trying to do the golden circle. So instead of going the what, how, and why, go in the why, then use the how, and a lot of the times the what is not needed. Okay, yeah, you got a good point there. You do have a good point. All right, I'm going to go and use it then. Many teams utilize Agile for development. Splitting up their time into smaller chunks gives them the ability to track All right. Well, we had Scrum team assesses progress in time box. Yeah, after the 15 minutes called the sprint. Yep. All right. Many teams utilize Agile for development, splitting up their time into smaller chunks, gives them the ability to change directions or pivot, gives them the ability to pivot very quickly. Sprints are those small time chunks, and we are implementing this into NearBeach. Each project / task / requirement item will be able to be assigned in a sprint. Actually, no, we haven't really discussed what's going on. I don't want to say, oh, this is how we're doing it in this sort of thing. All right, so many teams utilize Agile for development, splitting up their time into smaller chunks gives them the ability to pivot very quickly. Sprints are those small time chunks, and we're implementing this into NearBeach. There won't be much more I can really talk about this. This is one of our main focus points. So, Right. So I'm really terrible at writing blogs and stuff like that. I'm up into smaller chunks. Sprints are those small time chunks. And wait. NearBeach will be over the next month or two. NearBeach will slowly implement the basic sprint functionality into NearBeach with the ability to extend more functions into the sprints themselves. Sprints I.E, and this is where we've got implementing stand-up sets the story points. So implementing stand-up questions, implementation of story points. All right, let's read this out loud. Many teams utilize Agile for development, splitting up their time into smaller chunks, giving them the ability to pivot very quickly. Sprints are those small time chunks. Over the next month or two, NearBeach will slowly implement the basic sprint functionality into NearBeach, with the ability to extend more functions into the sprints, i.e. implementing stand-up questions, implementing story points. All right. So I think let's have a look at our other article. We're not going to look at doing that. We do have a retrospective. I will put that at the very bottom as an alert block. So that's usually just copied and paste. So it's retrospective for, yeah. And that's a success. So currently the retrospective of February currently the retrospective for February is still being written and will be released soon. All right, cool. So yeah, sadly, I didn't have enough time to do the retrospective. It's about 90% complete. I think I've just got to talk about a couple more little tiny things in it, and then I can release it. It is getting a bit long. All right, I'm kind of happy with this. So I'm just going to do a save and publish. And this should change automatically. There you go. We don't have that. I need to get more backgrounds and stuff like that. So hopefully soon. I've got a couple of pictures I've been taking when I've got time. So yeah. All right, here we go. For those. Well, this is in preview mode. I don't want to be in preview mode. Okay. Okay. So for those that are interested, there we go. Oh, do I have this one? And which is the Windows one? Yep, that's the Windows. So I've got to switch my keyboard between the different versions. All right, cool. March 2024 goals for NearBeach can be found on our blog. Not many items, however, I just It looks like there is a lot of work ahead of us for the next 2 months. Famous last words. All right, cool. That is done, and it only took us just under an hour. Yeah, writing is just hard for me. I dread it every single time. All right, so one of our things on here is we want to look at sprints. We want to start implementing the sprints and so forth like that. We need to kind of discuss how that will work, both at a technical sort of side, dealing with NearBeach itself, like dealing with, all right, where do we want to put sprints? How are we going to implement sprints? So forth like that. If we start a sprint, does the next one automatically happen and all that kind of stuff? So yeah, let's jump into here. Let's reset the canvas. Let's go confirm. Let's also go over here. Let's open up our terminal. So we did a git pull, git status, git. I don't know what commits I've got. All right, I had a dev commit. All right, git flow start, feature start, and what we want to call sprints. Okay, cool. So we're on the sprint feature now. I'm going to remove that. All right, so let's npm run prod. I'm just running prod because we just need to figure things out, where we're going to put stuff and so forth like that, and how the sprints will work. I think of 2 places when I think of the sprints, and let's play around with that. So let's get the debug mode up and running. Let's go localhost. Stairs are the enemy today. Yeah, when I used to work at the university, I used to have to climb up 3 flights of stairs just because the elevator in this particular building was terrible. And also I was rather afraid of the elevators at the time. They were not fun. So yeah, I got used to stairs. You don't trust stairs, they're always up to something. I don't have like a bad dad joke noise. So I just wait. Sound effects. Boo, bad joke. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a terrible joke. Alright, so we're on here. The only place where I can think where sprints would make sense for the moment is there's two places. What user am I? Oh, I should not have access to that requirement. Just gonna log out. I'm gonna log in as dark admin. So one place would be requirements. And the other place would be, and I just clicked open the same requirement, is projects. And there's a good reason why. So if we were to look at NearBeach and how I've set it up, so if we've got requirements, that is way too thick. So if we've got requirements, and remember these are user requirements. All right. Underneath it as a child, you got requirement item. Then from here, depending where you want to put it, and this is flexible in NearBeach, you can link in projects and tasks. And the idea being here, all right, so you grab a requirement. So the requirement should be the helicopter sort of overview of something. So a client wants to release a new website and with new branding and so forth like that. And then the requirement items themselves would be the user stories or more gritty, detailed and so forth like that. So for example, the user will need a login space where new users can create an account and so forth like that and so forth. So you would definitely be setting up either one or more projects. Usually it could be one or multiple, depending on how big the team is and so forth like that. And then you will be setting up tasks, which are usually dedicated to those requirement items or specifically dedicated to those projects. So a deployment sort of task technically will sit under the requirement because it is a task that needs to actually happen. It isn't really technically a user story and so forth like that. So this is the perfect place for actually having a sprints. Because what I can do is I can look at just the requirement and then pull in all of this other data through, just due to how NearBeach is sort of connected. That's not going to be a problem. And then I can easily display that and then hopefully get it out so it's kind of, now I'm doing this upside down. I do know that. Kind of like this, but upside down. The other place where I think sprints work perfectly fine is under projects. Because there will be cases where users might not necessarily do requirements and so forth like that. They might not use that module, which is fine. NearBeach is designed to be as flexible as it can be for its end users. So what they might want to do though is they might have projects and then underneath it have tasks. And that's where because tasks should be looked at as sort of smaller, essentially multiple tasks to a project. And so yeah, this would also be another great place to implement sprints. And hello, Yashar. How are you? Hope you're all having a good day. Yes, we are talking about sprints and how we want to implement them in NearBeach. So yeah, I've been giving a bit of a thought, and I think two places would be really good to implement them. So projects, which I think you've just heard that little speech. And also up at requirements too, just because, well, requirements requirements has a sub object, but it can also be linked to projects and tasks, and I think that's the best place to put it. I don't see tasks being sort of a useful place to implement it, just because you might have tasks relating to other tasks and so forth like that. But if you got something with multiple tasks connected to it, you kind of need a project to run it, if that makes sense. However, that being said, in the future, if someone goes, can we implement it for tasks? I'll try and keep this open enough so that can be done rather easily. So yeah. Now we kind of need to think what functionality we want to do and so forth like that. I do believe I started writing up the user requirements. So improve to document flow. Ooh, how do I not put this in? There's stuff in here which I haven't actually sort of followed up yet. So yeah. As you see, there's lots of user requirements I haven't implemented yet. Improve user flow for requirements and requirement items. When a user, all right, this is different. I've got to go through these, and general flow of a status for an object. This is done. Assumptions. We won't be able to notify the user if they're closing an object. Just reload the page. How will this workflow? All right, cool. This is done, I think. Yeah. This is completed. Actually, I'm going to put it as testing and so forth like that. So I haven't cleaned up any of this. I really should have a, with this, a go back to, so update requirement. Do you have an estimate time taken and a time taken field? No, not yet, but that is something I can implement very easily. Because, yeah, that... Because to do that wouldn't be too hard to do. So for example, let's go with projects as an example. I'm assuming there is no I'm assuming we'll have one field. You won't need to actually write in multiple lines. So we'll add in a field. All right, add in the field time estimate time. And then I'll need a new table which records each time instance. And yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. And then I'll probably update a taken time up here every single time this changes. So we're not calculating it every single time. However, that being said, if we just do that, it depends on reports. So yeah, taken time will be good for reporting. And then in here, yeah, that should work. Was a pet peeve of mine that at the last place we don't actually ever figure out how good we are at estimating. Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm happy to actually implement that. That shouldn't be too hard to implement. As you see, I can try and figure that out very easily. And it'll actually, if we were to do that, I wouldn't just put it on project, I would put it everywhere. I would probably also go for requirements, I would go one step further. So I'm going to go r/ri for requirements/requirement items. I would go one step further and have the potential of everyone putting in an estimate. And then what you would do is someone would pick which estimate they think is the best fit. However, that being said, no, I wouldn't. That would need a bit of work. It would be a thing that would be applied later. But otherwise, yeah. How can you estimate lead times if you don't know how good you're at estimating? Yes, yeah. So I can implement it in. That's not going to be a problem. Yeah. And hey, Sandy Lee, how are you going? Hopefully everything's going well. Anyway, before I was jumping onto this, so I'll just clean that out. That's in testing review. I thought I put it in here for the sprints, but that's not a problem. Oh, I've got to finish off the Docker sponsorship program. All right, new requirement. Sprints functionality. All right, so sprints. What do we want to implement? Have sprints implemented at either the. This is where I realize I haven't included. Oh no, I have. At either the requirement or project levels, where they utilize the following structure. So I'm going to put that back on again. Requirements. We'll have requirement items, projects, and tasks, where projects will just have tasks. Sorry for the sidetrack. We had story points instead of time, but they map to each other over implicity. Yeah, I was thinking story points. There goes my Arkham Horror book. Alright, this whiteboard has been behind me for well over a month or two now, like in this sort of state, so been hiding there, secretly showing people where I wanted to go. All right, so I did want to have sprints have a set number of story points, but I can change that to time fairly easily. That was my chair. I just put the whiteboard on. I'm sorry, Peanut, I didn't mean to scare you there. You're like, what the hell is he doing? Yeah, I know. Just throwing my whiteboard around. And my Arkham Horror books. Just book. So I'm happy to. Oh, this music just suddenly stopped. Just gonna refresh. There you go. Happy to implement either. Sorry for the sidetrack. We have some. Oh, yep. Probably want that configurable. Yes. So whether or not having story points or estimated time. Well, let's think about this. So I'm going to write story points or time here. So one thing we're not doing a versus, we're doing a config. So what if we were to do both of them? Story points, for example, they would be an int range. Right, between, so you got story point. Actually, it's been ages since I've been using story points, so bear with me whilst I remember what we did. So we will be, all right, cool. So story points, that would be 2, which would be between 2 and 8 hours. Because a single story point would be between 1 and 4. So that would be an int. And then from there we get the range. And we would be happy. The other thing is with time, if we go 2.5 hours, we would put that in as 150 minutes. I'm trying to think. Now, we want this range, so the story point range, to be configurable because it'll be different from place to place. I'm assuming. So if another place actually, let's say, has it 3 to 5 hours for one. So let's go 1 story point, and then 2 story point will be, of course, 6 and 10. All right. But then later on, if they change that, we don't want all of this calculated. We want this solidified. But we've got a max and a minimum. Would also need to record the done time either way. Yeah, the done time would be a timesheet type of thing. Points should be complexity. Story points shouldn't map to time, but always does. Points should be complexity. Yeah. Well, the thing is, how do I store complexity in a database? And then be like, all right, this is let's go complex A. How much time will I charge for complex A? I don't know. So, yeah. Well, it is an int. Yeah. Yeah, so I did, funny enough, before the purge, I did have sprints, story points in here and so forth like that. Might be one of those things where if we do have this story point feature, we've got to think about reports and reporting and so forth like that. So a good example is people want to be like, all right, cool, with this, we've got 3 to 5 hours. Oops. Yeah, 3 to 5 hours. How much did we use? Did we get smack bang in that? Could have a column for time and a column for time and switch, which is red. Yeah, that's the thing. That shouldn't be too hard to implement. So if we were to go, let's go story point again. So story point will have time min, time max, which is calculated every single time that story point number changes. And then for the number of hours, we can have time. And then, just to confuse everything, this should be in minutes. What does utilization mean? Where was that? Oh, do you mean like have another column going what was utilized? Yeah, that can be done. So, all right, Tmin, Tmax, this would be estimates. So I'll have to name these appropriately. And then we'll have time used. And then from there, this field would be updated every single time someone added into the oh, okay, yeah. I'm just thinking what fields I would need in here. And so forth like that. And the one thing is you kind of want to set this up so the one problem is you don't want to mix and match between estimated time and sprint. Sorry, not sprint, SP. Story points. Don't know why I got the sprint word stuck in my head. What it would mean is essentially your manager be looking at it being like, are we overestimating or underestimating? So, yeah. Okay, cool. So, has sprints implemented at either the levels where they utilize the following structure. Have the ability to store either story points or estimated hours. Have the ability to record time against a project/requirement. From Scrum, it's how many story points did we take into the sprint versus how many did we finish in the sprint, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah. That could also be used. Sorry, I'm also thinking about the quotation still. So yeah, you're thinking we're both on two different pages, but we're both thinking about sprints. All right, cool. So yeah. So you'll have a sprint and it will contain, let's say, 10 story points. Smiley face. And then we'll have, let's say, project that will have, let's say, 5 story points. We'll have a task. 3 story points. And task. 2 story points, like so. I'm assuming. From Scrum, it's how many story points we take into, yeah. Now, and then, yeah, we add all those up. We get 10 story points. Someone's happy. And then at the end of it all, you'll be like, all right, cool. Let's say this got done. Let's say this got done. And then sadly, this didn't get done. And then you would be like, all right, cool. We got 8 story points worth of stuff done. Smiley face. But 2 story points didn't. I'm assuming. How many story points did we take into the sprint versus how many we finish in the sprint? All right, cool. That can be done. So you would give it 8 out of 10. And then someone would be like, yeah, no, that deserves a smiley face. Make it into a little sticker thing. All right, that can be done. I just need to implement the sprint functionality, which I think it still has it hidden in there. So I don't think I ripped it out completely. There you go, story point, max, and min. However, those might change. Yeah, so all right, but that's why we're talking about this today and so forth like that, and discussing this, so that way I can design it properly, because that's a very old design, and most likely I'm just gonna change it completely. Okay. Cool. So going here, have the ability to store story points or estimate hours, have the ability to record time against the project and requirement. So for each sprint, have the ability to determine how many story points were completed versus how many were not. At all places essential, a new Kanban board per sprint. Damn. Well, hopefully not with this. The idea is I want to give the people the ability to start up a script, well, when I say start up, create a sprint or multiple sprints, and then move stuff into those sprints. And then as they're working on those items, if it notices it's against a sprint and it completes it, then we want to add against that sprint the completion for that particular object in that sprint. Yeah, I'm thinking out loud. Okay, cool. Anyway, I am just quickly going off to the bathroom. I will be 1 minute. I'm terribly sorry. I am going to run 1 minute of ads, but I will be back very shortly. People often visualize that with a Kanban board. Yeah. Well, I've got a Kanban board functionality, which is nice. So, yeah. Anyway, I will be right back. I gotta hit start. All right. I'm going to stop that. Now, that is one thing. Sorry, I went to the bathroom. I was like, you know what? I was thinking of doing sprints. So let's do this visually. And having the Gantt chart sort of appear. So you got all your little things, you got your little times, and then it'll be like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. However, I don't think the Kanban, and the only reason it might or might not, and the only reason why I'm saying it might not work in NearBeach is the fact that the statuses are completely different between objects. And the only way a Kanban board will work is if I've got one for requirement items. I've got one for projects, and I've got a separate one for tasks. But that could potentially work. I mean, we implemented swim lanes. So if we list all, oh shoot. Okay. If we go into here, we've got swim lanes. So we can actually do that in NearBeach anyway. Just have one being like projects, tasks, requirement items, and so forth like that. That's not going to be hard for us to actually do. But it just means that these statuses will be a bit different between each of them. It might look a bit messy, and that's the problem. Whereas I could implement a Gantt chart and have it in the Gantt chart have a status column, which people can change. So, yeah. But these things, once again, discussing this out, got to think about it. What will be the best sort of thing to actually implement for NearBeach? Yeah. Okay, so I could potentially do cards, but once again, so for example, the status for the requirement items will be completely and utterly different to the ones that a project has, and so forth like that. And now that I've given the ability to customize all of that, it does complicate it a little bit more. But I could potentially, once again, I just separate them into 3 different sort of rows. One dealing with requirement items. If there's none in there, that just disappears. One dealing with project. If there's nothing in there, that disappears. One dealing with tasks. If that's in there, perfect. And then have all the statuses as columns for tasks. That would work fine. It'll look a bit weird, but that should work perfectly fine. And I could implement both. I can actually have a Kanban board side of things and a sprint side of thing. And then just, it'd be like, all right, cool. For the Kanban board, this is how it's set up. So yeah. All right, going back to this. Okay, so have sprints implemented at either the requirement or project levels where they utilize the following structure. Have the ability to store either story points or estimated hours against all objects, or all objects being like all, you know, working objects. Have the ability to record time against projects requirements. Implementation of a timetable tabling system where users can record their time against all objects. All right, cool. So that not technically part of the sprint, but we do want to kind of implement that as a feature anyway. For each sprint, have the ability to determine how many story points were completed versus how many were not. I'm gonna say can also extend to time taken using a timetable system. All right, cool. And we can build that up as a report. So, yes. All right, implement a timetabling system. Visualize the sprint using either, and this is where I'll use dot points. Gantt chart where all the relationships are shown. Kanban board where all the different objects are separated. Yeah, so with the Gantt chart we can do that. It's pretty easy, but with the Kanban board, I think separating them by each object should just work. It's a bit messy, as in like not everything's all in one sort of place, but people could be like, all right, cool. Here's the project sort of thing. This is the big kahuna where this is made up of all these small little tasks and so forth like that. And I think if people use this particular process, they'll be adding tasks to sprints instead of adding the projects themselves. So the only place where I think people will be adding in projects would be at the requirement item level. So yeah, whoops. Just keep dropping the pen. All right, so we'll need to break these up into better points. So going with this, we're happy with that. We're happy with that. I'm just going to zoom all the way up. So we just talked all about that. I'm just going to reset the canvas because I've been scribbling like mad. Yeah. So like if we've got a requirement, underneath it we can have the items themselves, so the requirement items, which I don't think people will be adding to sprints because a requirement item is really a user story. However, I'm adding in that flexibility. You'll have projects, but in reality, tasks are they're not a child object, but they kinda are, in the sense that if you have a project, you'll have multiple tasks assigned to that project. So I feel like with these particular things, you might have a project linked to the requirement because you might have multiple teams working on this, and you might have multiple stages or whatever. And the idea being like is, okay, cool, we're going to, the deployment team, we've got the, let's say the back end and the front end sort of stuff, and they'll each have different tasks for those particular projects and so forth like that. So potentially, yeah. I'm trying to make this as flexible as possible. So yeah. And also remember, I do want to implement sprints at this sort of level too. So, yeah. So, this is where it gets very confusing. This is me dreaming at the moment. So, you know, at night, this is like the bed. This is me. I'll have like a little tiny blanket on me. And this is me sleeping, thinking about this, dreaming about this. So yeah. Oh, oh. Just thinking, have I captured all of what I kind of want at the moment? So this stakeholder will definitely be me. This is currently in progress. System requirements, I'm going to say. All right, create new requirement. Because now we can sort of build. Yeah, all right. Let's talk about data and storing stuff. Now, my main question is, will sprints be variable? I'm going to say no. No. However, that being said, as in like, for example, you might have a sprint that's 2 weeks. And another sprint that's also 2 weeks. And then Easter holiday happens, and then a sprint is for 1 month. Also, elaborating on the variableness, in here you might have 10 story points. In here you might have 10 story points. And then over here you might have 15 story points. And then after this finishes, it goes back to the 2 weeks. So once this is done, it's back to the 2 weeks. And it'll be like 10 story points. Okay, cool. So, story points will be a variable. Okay, cool. Do you think the length of time, should I keep that as a variable? Because what I could do is, let's say a user wants to create a sprint. They'll go to the sprint section and they'll be like, new sprint, please. And then they set the from and to date, where the from date will be the last to date, unless it's empty. People might want to verify time just because they think they're too long or too short. All right, cool. It should be config, but not every time. All right. So you're saying that this should be in config, but not variable, but not every time. All right, cool. So should I have a default in config? So sprint length. Also, do you need to know the length? Yeah, that's the thing. Sprint length should be in config. Ahead of time. Well, that's also the thing, being to I'm trying to phrase this correctly. All right, let's draw this out again. I'm going to copy this thing up here again. So let's say you start a new, let's say requirement sprint and so forth like that. And you're like, all right, cool. Let's go 2 weeks. And then it'll stop. I'm thinking not to automatically create the next one. I think this should be user driven. For 2 reasons. One, I don't want to figure out how to do it. I don't want to figure out how to do a thing to be repetitious. And two, I think I had another reason, but I've absolutely forgotten it. Two, I think if we are going to make something variable, like the sprint time and so forth like that, we should be doing it on create. And then if the user creates a new one, let's say Easter happens and they're like, all right, we've got a week off, so we'll extend this to 3 weeks out of the default 2 weeks. Because you can just say when it's finished, then I don't think you need the length. All right, I like that idea. Because then you can manually close it and then record the differences. All right, so what you're saying is I'm going to sort of delete this. I'm going to change this slightly. So let's say someone creates a requirement item. Let's say they created it back in December. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of a story how people will do it. So let's say back in December 2023. That's 2003. 2023. That's meant to be 2023. All right. Someone creates a requirement. All right. Come March 2024, user clicks start sprint. All right, everyone's happy. They're like, all right, we're going to start this requirement now. So what we want to do is we're going to be like, all right, cool. So here is our March 2024. And it goes on. The user states how many story points are going to be in this particular sprint. So they're going to say 10 story points. This one continues. And then they go finish. And now, should we just automatically create the next one? And with the next one, it'll default to the previous story points. However, they'll be able to edit that straight away. Or, and the alternative to this, or let's say there's a bit of a gap of time for unknown reasons. The user then clicks on start again, start sprint, and then it continues on until they say finish. Oh, yep, that will actually be easier. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll get rid of that, get rid of that. So, story points are calculated automatically. All right. Wouldn't it be easier to do? Yeah, then have them click a button, but maybe have the option to start the next one from closing the previous. All right, cool. So you're saying here, have 2 buttons. Finish and complete. Or finish and start next sprint. I like that idea. Because, yeah, then if there's no more sprints... Yeah. And then we can also calculate days in here too. So, we'll actually calculating days will not probably be the best thing. Ignore that. So, yeah. So will sprints be variable? I've got that wrong. We're going to say yes. And then do a smiley face. Or just have another screen in the closing flow. Yeah, yeah. So I would have to do the UI UX around this. So yeah, have it finish. I mean, it's not a problem. So this gap here, it's not a problem if they go finish and complete and then go, oh no, I was meant to start a next sprint, and then click that button to start the next sprint. I don't think that would be a problem. So yeah, or it could be one of those little buttons that could be like finish, sprint, like this. But the user has the ability to drop down and go finish and start next. And so forth. Oh, I've got to get the bins. I'll probably be doing that at like 6:30 in the morning. Okay. So let's write this down. Okay. User flow for sprints. Yeah, I've got one on Sunday to remind me to put the bins out. So yeah, they're useful, those alarms. I am so glad for mobile phones and just how easy it is to just set a reminder and stuff like that. I've got a reminder set tomorrow to do the YouTube content. So I've got to move all the videos from Twitch onto YouTube, cut them down so the first 5 minutes is missing, and add all the tags and stuff to them. And it's not a long task if you've got 3 videos to do. It is when you've got 20 something. All right, so user flow. The following is a user story designed to give an impact. How a user will use these sprints. Okay, cool. So, user creates an object, requirement / project. User, after a period of time, will click on the start sprint button. User will populate the newly created sprint with items, objects they want to complete during that sprint. ... User completes. As user completes objects, the object is flagged as completed in an audit table, and the value of sprints completed is updated against the sprint itself. So yeah, when we add sprints to the table, it'll update to how many story points there are there, and then what will actually happen is as people complete the sprint objects, it'll store that information in an audit table, and what it'll do is it'll go through that audit table and be like, all right, cool, we just need to plus or minus this many story points. Hell, we might just do that straight to the thing and then have the audit table there as a fallback method for recalculation in case something goes wrong. So as the user completes an object, the object is flagged as completed in the audit table, and the value. Yep. All right. Cool. When the user is ready to finish the sprint, they'll notify the system. They'll click a button to stop. They'll notify the system. The sprint will close, and a report can be generated. All right, user then has the ability to start the next sprint right away. All right, cool. The length of the sprint is calculated by the number of days opened. Okay, cool. So we're not really worried about we're not really worried about the finish date, as the sprint can be left open for an unknown amount of time. All right, cool. So this is currently is a draft. This is system functionality. So save requirement item. There we go. So that's dealing with essentially all of this. So I am going to I really should draw this up properly. Yeah, I should draw this up properly, and I can actually save it against the sprint. Not the sprint, the requirement item. All right, cool. So, I'm just going to draw a long timeline. Okay, cool. Here. Okay, user starts sprint. Should do that in a different color. User stop sprint. User start sprint. User stop sprint. Should have done that properly. Like so. Let's get rid of that. Going to this. That timeline's really skewered, but that's fine. We want to extract this. PNG. All right, like so. Time mouse. Let me shrink ya. There we go. There we go. Update requirement. Done. Sweet. All right. So how data structure wise, so let's just go bang, bang, data structure. What fields do we need in the sprint table? So we'll need an ID. We need object assignment. Essentially, that will just break up into what objects it is built upon. So sprints themselves will be considered equivalent of a sub-object. They won't be an object. So this object assignment might be just a foreign key to either a project or a foreign key to a requirement. I don't foresee us actually building sprints off of anything other than that. I don't think they'll be standalone. Doesn't make sense how we're building the system for them to be standalone. All right, so what else do we need? We need story point, total story points. And completed story points. And that object assignment, I should put in parent object. I will erase. Oh, click that. Yep, bastard. So we've got parent object. All right, so got that, and that. Now this is the sprint table in itself. I feel like we need another sort of table. So we've got that. If we keep the story points in, that should be fine. What else did we say? We've updated that requirement. We'll go back to these. We need an audit table. I just don't want to draw that just yet. Pen's going wild. Having a think. I'm making sure I don't forget anything. And once that's happening, I'm going to turn on this light. I'm going to sit down. I've been standing all day. My feet are tired. And I have 4 hours of sleep tomorrow. So let's sit down. Oh, that's a big yawn there, Peanut. All right. It's rather low for me. There we go. So we've got the ID, object assignment, total story points. What we'll also need is a story point. Sprint object assignment. I'm not going to use the object assignment table. I'm going to have its own thing in here, where you got the sprint ID and the object assign. Then we'll have the sprint audit table, where essentially we store all the completed sort of items. So we go, one thing is we need status up here. So that will help us. So for example, if the sprint is finished, we don't want to edit anything more, especially in the audit table. So what we want is status, current or finished. All right, and that should be fine. Sprint audit table, that will deal with object and if it's closed. Then again, we might not need it. I'll write what this is for. To audit the sprints completion rate, completions. I.e, how many story points completed? All right. So yeah, with the sprint, we're forgetting dates. So start date, start/end dates. The usual is deleted and so forth like that. I mean, that is fine. If someone wants to delete a sprint, they might have started one by mistake and they just want to delete it. All right, so what other things do we need in here? I'm just going to hit refresh on this. Okay. Cool. Object assignment. All right, yep. Total story points, completed story points. Total story points is when we connect stuff to it. That will also fall in the audit table. So yeah, we do want the audit table because we want it to always update from that table. I know we should just be updating that value depending on what it is. That being said, yeah, the audit table. We remove stuff from it. So I'm just thinking out aloud how we would do this properly. I will have to draw this out, but yeah, we'll get to it in just a bit. So we'll have the ID. We've got the object assignment. We've got the total story points. We've got the completed story points. Oh. All right. This will be int. This will be foreign keys. This will be int. This will be int. Status enum. Start end dates with dates. We won't have a sprint name. Yeah, I don't think. Let's have a look how Jira does it. Do they have names? So it creates sprint. Yep, sweet. Fill in your sprint with stories from the backlog. Yep, all right, sweet. That's what the user would do. Step 3 adds. Okay, so how... sorry, I'm now thinking how users would actually use this. So I'm just gonna go this. Go UI, UX. How will... So one question is, how will users get to the sprint? And then how will users add objects to the sprint? Generally, you would want a name because it gives people something to report against. Prefix plus date incriminated date / incriminating number. Incriminate. Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, we do want a name then. So what we would want to do is we want a name up here in the field. Incriminant. Yeah. I knew what you meant. All right. So in NearBeach, let's say we've got a project and stuff like that. Let's say down here we've got like the MISC, we've got the sprint section in here. We can be like create sprint. We can also see a list of all the sprints in there too. I might move out the bug section, put it in here, and then have sprints in its own tab, because I feel like the bug functionality is not being utilized in NearBeach at all. But yeah, that's a different story. So the user would come in here. For example, it'll be like, let's create a sprint, or if there's one already existing, it'll be that will be there. They won't be able to create. We'll have also past sprints in here. They'll be able to click on it to go to the sprint. But how they're going to add objects to this when they're in the sprint itself, I reckon is the best time to add in the objects. Or if they're in here, let's say they're on a project or something like that. Oh, sorry, let's say they're on a task and they're in here. We could have a thing being like, add this object to this particular sprint and have current sprints. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this needs to be in its own tab. I know these tabs are getting rather large, like there's a lot of them. I think if I put the bugs under MISCs, that'll be fine. The notes deserve its own little thing because it's pretty decent functionality. Yeah, I need to move the bugs. But that can be done at a later date. So I'm just going to put a 1. Just going to put a 1 here. How will users get to the sprint? So, and also another thing is you don't want to go directly to the object. You also want to find objects. So you can list sprints. So instead of, it will have list all objects, we'll have list sprints up here. So 1. User will be able to list all current sprints like search functionality. Cool. This will be the other one. Requirements and projects will have a tab dedicated to creating sprints. And current sprints. And listing sprints. All right. How will users add to the sprints? So to objects can have a wizard where users can add said object to sprints. All right. I like that idea. So if we're in a, let's say, task, because that will most likely be where a user is. If they're in here, let's say there's a tab in here. We click this. Let's say it's the sprints tab. It will line up every sprint it's been under. But also, if they're like add to sprint, they'll click on the adds to sprint. A modal will pop up and they will be able to select any sort of sprints that they're currently connected to. Now, the thing is that they need to be linked to those particular objects. So they need to be linked to those projects already. They can't just be added willy-nilly. So, yeah. The other way would be if the user, let's say they're actually on the sprint screen itself, they'll be able to add in more components into that. So we'll add that in here. So as for two, users on the sprint screen can add linked objects. Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that, I mean, in reality, if we wanted to have the users add anything, we can have it so that it does create that link. So the default link, if we go to linked objects, let's just create a new link. Let's say this is also going to be linked to a requirement item. This item relates to is the default, so it can fall into relates to. We want this link. So yeah, we can have it so the system does that automatically. Objects where they can add objects to sprints. Sprints. Links to be added automatically. All right. Yeah. Cool. I think I think that will be good. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, it's something that I can iterate on, but I've got a path headed there, and as I head towards there, I can iterate and change things up. The reason why I want these links is you don't want a random task that isn't linked to, let's say, a project where the sprint is from, because you'll be like, why is this in here? It should be linked in. So it'll do that. Now, there's nothing stopping someone from deleting something and it's still appearing in that particular sprint. We could potentially write some checks in and tell the user, hey, listen, this is, if you're going to delete this link, we're going to delete the sprint from the sprint. But we could also ignore that fact and be like, no, they've just done something silly. I will need to figure that out a little bit better. Oh, sorry. Bit of a yawn. Also, just one other thing. I'm just wanting to know if we can... So I'm just working on this right now. It's a span. All right. Don't worry about that. That's just something else I've just spotted. Cool. I think it's time to start creating these. So under the models, oh, sorry. What we want, class sprint. And this is going to be models.model. We are going to have the date created, date modified. Oh. The date created will be the start date. So I'm not worried about that. And I don't foresee the date modified. Yeah, this is going to be one of those ones where I'm like, I don't need the date created, I don't need the date modified, because the date created is going to be the start date. The date modified where we close, it's going to be the finish date. But we still want the change user and is deleted. Nah, I'm just going to grab it all for... just because I know it's going to drive me nuts. Now, if I keep changing stuff. So this will be sprint ID equals models.big auto field primary key true. All right, so we'll have the sprint name equals models.car field. This will be max length. I'm going to say 100. 100 should be fine. And then what we could do for those particular things, we could have the project, let's say project 15, sprint, and the number, the sprint number, followed by the start date. I think that will be a good sort of thing. So max length that. null equals true. Let's say null equals true just in case we want to nullify it. Actually, no. Null equals false. And we'll just have empty sprint as default. So we've got the object, we need the foreign keys now. So we need primary, sorry, not primary key. We need requirement equals models.foreign key. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. It's foreign keys to, and then we do requirement in here. On delete equals models.cascade. Null equals true. I don't think I need blank equals true anymore. I think that's it. And then project equals models.foreign key. And that will be to project. On delete equals models.cascade. And then null equals true. All right, so we've got the object assignment. We're not doing anything because we're using ORM. I don't want to do anything clever and have one field that could map to both and stuff like that, where I can just use those two fields. It's easy. And we're only using that bit of information, yeah, very rarely. It's only to be like, all right, cool, this is a project, it's got this data. Total story points and completed story points. So it's models.integer field, we'll have default equals 0. And completed story points equals models.integer field. Default once again is going to be 0. Okay, the status. So I'm going to have sprint status equals, and then we're going to look up what we've done up here. So let's say link relationship. All right, so we've got models, car field, choices, blank. All right, cool. So I'm going to yank 6 lines. I'm going to go sprint down here. And I'm just going to paste this as just so we know what to do. Models.character field. Essentially, we want max length is going to be 10. Just double checking is completed. Current. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. All right. Just in. All right. So choices equals sprint status. Blank equals true, null equals true, I think is the default. Default equals current. So sprint status. Element OP QRS. Jesus. All right. Oh, music just suddenly stopped. Code review is 11 characters, by the way. All right, now I want this to be in plain text, so it's going to be current, and then completed. Done. All right, so going back to this, we should have start and end dates. Oh, did I put that in? I don't know. I'm exhausted. No, I haven't. So I'm going to put that in now. I do feel like the date created and date modified should just adapt. But however, that being said, there could be reasons why I want them audited in. So start date, sprint start date. Models dot date time field auto now add true. I'm just going to yank that and do that, and then I can just go end date. All right, cool. So we need the name. I think I've got the name up here. Yep, got the object it's connected to, total story points, completed story points, sprint status. We've got the sprint and sprint we've got the date created, date modified, we've got the change user is deleted. Now we just need the meta, so this coming out. So what we need is we need def I keep forgetting what it is. It's string self return, and it's self dot sprint name. String. We need to put that in as string. There we go. All right. Bang that bang that like that. Now we've done the top table, so I'm currently happy with it. Now I've got current and completed. Did we want current and finished? Oh, sorry. I think finished would be better. We were talking about finished throughout the whole entire day. So, yeah. All right. Sprint object assignment. So this is where we go. Sprint. Class sprint object assignment. This once again models dot model. All right, cool. So what do we need? We need a equals models dot big auto field primary key equals true. We'll need to do this for the following objects. So it'll go requirement item, project, task, because we won't be connecting requirement items up with requirement items. That doesn't make any sense. But we'll need requirements, projects, and tasks. All right, cool, sweet. What else do we need in here? So we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. We'll need those. So we just need object assignment sprint ID. All right, sweet. So what we need is requirement item equals models.foreign key. That will be just requirement item, then a on delete equals models.cascade. Null equals true. Default equals null. No, I don't think we need default is null for that. All right, cool. Then we need project equals models dot foreign key, project on delete equals models dot cascade, and then null equals true, and then task equals models dot foreign key task, and then on delete equals models dot cascade, null equals true. Okay, cool. That's pretty much that table. We need the sprint ID equals models dot foreign key sprint. We need the big table itself. On delete equals models dot cascade. We're not going to make this nullable. This will need something in there. And then we've got take created user, yep, change user, and all that kind of stuff. So we're all happy with that. We're happy with that. We're happy with that. As for the audit table, I don't know how we're going to do this. All right. Let's figure this out. Let's draw a line down here. Let's just point it over here. So the sprint audit table, what we'll need is the sprint ID. All right. We'll need the story points. All right, that's going to be an int. That's going to be a foreign key. And then we'll need this, the higher order status. Ooh. So the higher order status is set by NearBeach. It's not going to change. So a good idea is if we have a look at localhost at admin level, we'll log in as the admin. We'll kick out my character. Let's go to the project, list of statuses in here. We've got one called Bob. The project higher order status, we've got backlog, normal, blocked, and closed. So that won't change no matter what. We can look at here and be like, all right, cool, there's those. If we have a look at requirement statuses, jump into here, once again we've got backlog, normal, blocked, and closed. That's not going to change. This gives us the flexibility to tell with these custom statuses whether or not something is either closed, it's in the backlog, as normal, or it's blocked. So all of your statuses that you create fall under one of these four. So what we could potentially do is look at the higher order status for that object. And then we have the object ID. All right. So, that's going to be foreign key. All right. That's going to be a positive integer, and there's going to be a reason for this. This will be a string, and the object ID will of course be a foreign key, and so forth like that. And what we could potentially do is when actually this could be positive or negative. And that way we just need to sum this. So when the higher order status equals closed, this int becomes negative. I've got to charge my battery for my watch soon. I like that idea. Yeah, just okay. Sorry, giving it a good think. So for the audit table, we'll have the sprint ID, story points, higher order status, and so forth like that, and the object ID. Whenever something changes with the object ID, we then change it with the story points. We've got to make sure that it's connected to that particular story point. If it is, then we'll update this table. That's pretty easy to do. Yeah. We can build this very quickly. So what we want is new class. We're going to call it sprint audit table and models.model. In here, we'll have sprint audit table ID equals models.big for auto field, primary key equals true. From here, we'll have the sprint ID equals the models dot foreign key. It'll be sprint on delete equals models dot cascade, and we're all happy with that. So from there, we're saying we'll need the object ID. So it will. Ooh, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, yeah, 5. So I'm going to yank these 15 lines. So it'll be one of these. Going to yank these 8 lines. Paste them like this. So up here, we want to key in. So we've got the story. We need story point in. So story point. Story point cost equals models dot integer field. Default is going to be 0. And then we need higher order status for object. So higher order status for object equals models dot character field. And this is where I'm going to look this up, but I think default equals normal. Max length I think is going to be 15. And this is where we just look up higher order status under the models. All right, we're just gonna try that again. Okay, yank 5, thank you, thank you. And we're going to remove this. So we've got the higher order status. Default is going to be normal because we're assuming the person's working with them. All right, so we've got the audit table in. I'm happy with that. So yeah. Okay. The next thing we want to kind of do, now that we've got the tables up, we kind of want to create stuff. So first off, what I want to do is I want to remove, I'm just going to update this requirement. I want to remove these bugs. I think the bug list should belong under the MISC nowadays. I feel like that would be a better place to put it. I don't foresee there being many bugs and so forth like that. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's minimize everything. Let's open up this. Let's go to our source. Let's go to our JavaScript. Let's go to our components. Let's go to our modules, and let's click on our parent module. And straight away, we've got this bugs one. Yeah, no, it's okay, it's limited to certain things. That's going to be a little bit harder to do. I mean, I can add in a new plane tab in here, and then we can slowly move this out. Because this should be easy to get rid of. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm going to go to bed early tonight. Okay. So, we want to remove the bugs completely. We need a place to put it first. So submodules, that will go under MISC module. Under MISC module, we've got something like this. Do we have destination under MISC module? No, we don't, but we can get it really easy. We just need the map getters in here. And so we scroll up. So if we remove this, we scroll down, we then can remove this. We can then go in here, import bugs module from bugs module. We go down to here, bugs module. That's modal. Like so. Then what we want is a HR and bugs module, like so. But we're gonna have to add in those if statements. So we need the VueJS in here. So import map getters from VueJS. Easy done. And down here we've got the computed section. I think that's an object. Map getters is going to be destination, get destination. And then up here, that's where we get this sort of destination. So we can actually remove this now from here. We can scroll all the way up. We can say if we can literally copy that little bit of command in there and go vif, paste it in, and then just go this dot destination. And then I'm just going to copy that one line. I'm going to do something like this. Do it like that. Cool. Easy done. That will remove that and now put it into the MISC section. I believe all of that is a part of that bug section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that. I'm going to call this now sprints. I'm going to have, I'm just going to copy this. I shouldn't have deleted it. I should have just, you know, done stuff. Role presentation, nav link, MISC tab. This is going to be sprints tab, BS toggle tab of sprints, button tab, home selected false. This is sprints. Okay, so we want to scroll all the way down. We want to actually get rid of the bugs module. We want to get rid of it completely. There we go. That's all perfectly fine. We want to do a simple div class equals tab pane fade, ID equals sprints, role equals tab panel, area dot labeled by, and this is tab panel. And then what we need to do is hello world, we need to implement sprints. Smiley face. All right, cool, done. What we want to do, npm run prod. This shouldn't take too long to implement. All right, done. So I want to go to localhost. I want to refresh. As you see, we've now removed the bugs. They're now going under MISC, and they'll be going down here. So yeah, it's not getting used as much, so it'll go down here. I do have plans to re-implement bugs properly in the near future, but that involves having another project where it is a essentially HTTP quality center. I want to, you know, build something like that. So quality control type of situation, but that won't happen. It might actually happen this year. Who knows? It'll be pretty cool if I get to start something like that. So yeah. All right. So the idea being, this is all ready. So if we go to sprints, we got the hello world. We need to implement sprints. So we're happy with this. So yeah, we clean up this a little bit. I mean, I can even put the customers into the groups and users and just call that connections, because it will be useful to see what customers. Oh, I need to upload a picture. And a refresh. There you go. But I need to add that also into there too. And yeah, that is a bit of a change. So we've got groups, users, customers, all on one page. I mean, it makes sense. And welcome, Cell Braille. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Brielle. Welcome. So what were you doing on... And thank you very much, Don Goobs. How are you? 2 raids right in a row. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. How was your stream? What did you both of you get up to? I ran from Monster Raid. I ran from Monster... Fair enough. Monster Hunter. So, yes. Sleepy Pom Scary Raid. Sleepy Pom Scary Raid. So, welcome. Thank you very much, both of you. I can only shout out one at a time, I think. There we go. So, welcome everyone to my stream. I am a programmer, both at night and during the day. So, yay. Currently, I'm building what's called a project management system. So, the idea being is you can store organization and customer information in there. You can build your own little Kanban boards. So, you know, the little, here's a visual thing. So, a little Kanban board in here. So you can move your little card around and stuff like that for the different statuses. You can create projects, you can create tasks, you can gather user requirements, and when all of that is done and dusted, you've got requests for changes. So when you need to deploy stuff and tell people what they're going to do. It is going good. So tonight we have been doing a lot of writing. So... essentially, I'm planning the new sprints. So part of project management is you do little tiny sprints. I'll see if I've got a diagram up here. So I'll quickly draw a better one. So what you might do is you might be like, all right, cool. Let's start this sprint. It's going to go for 2 weeks. And we're going to sort of finish these particular tasks like so. And then at the end of it, you look at it and you'll be like, all right, cool. We didn't complete as much as we want. We probably overestimated how many tasks we could do. Then you might start another 2-week sprint with other tasks in there and so forth like that. So yeah, we're implementing that at the moment. And I can now do a shout out for you. I see. Also, a quick question. Do you have all the streams saved? Yes, I do. So I have a YouTube where I've been saving all the streams. They are a little behind at the moment. That's because I didn't want to release them all at once, and I want to give myself a little bit of buffer. I also need to spend time tomorrow actually moving a lot of my last 2 weeks of streams over back into YouTube and so forth like that. So yes, I do. And God praise to be the coffee lord. Yes, I do need coffee. I've actually ran out of coffee at home. I've got to buy beans. Hopefully tomorrow I remember to buy beans. But I'm cycling into work, so it's the last thing I want to do is, because it's 2 hours one way, is on the way back, have to stop at the shop. So yeah, it'll probably be Wednesday morning. I'll be like, why didn't I buy beans yesterday? I've been surviving off coffee cans. So yeah, welcome everyone. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing. There's a lot of me been talking at the moment and being like, all right, cool. What if we did something like this and so forth like that? Sort of structuring out how the database tables will look and how the user will interact with it. So yeah, as a part of the process of when you start a new sort of implementation in an existing project or starting a new project, is you sort of design this out before you start. So yeah. Anyway, how was Monster Hunter? Did you destroy a lot more monsters? I'm trying to remember what Monster Hunter I've got. I've been playing slowly with my friend, but I forgot what version I've got. I think you've got a different one. Just pain, but yes. Fair enough. So, yeah. What Monster Hunter did I buy? I forgot. It's a good game to jump into every now and then. Something you don't have to take overly serious, I find. Well, for me, I don't take it overly serious. And good morning, Endsweep. How are you? I hope you're going well. Big view. Yes, we just got rated twice, thanks to Cel Braille and Don Goobs. And I'm hoping I pronounced your name right, Cel. Please correct me if I haven't. So, yeah. You can give them a follow. Just started Iceborne and close enough. Fair enough. Cell is fine. All right. We had a good one, but ended up hunting down a Rathian multiple times, but bopped, but a flying bat that put us to sleep. Ah, damn. I always get poisoned. It's the poison that actually takes me. Because I'm like, all right, cool, I'm fighting, and then my health just goes. I'm just like, oh, damn. All right, so what was I doing? I don't know. The poison Toby sucks. Yeah. Where's be rough? Yeah. Alright, so I've created my own little tab here. We're just throwing some things together today. I've got about half an hour left in me before I need to go to sleep. It's because I'm waking up really early tomorrow. So we might as well create the view. So we'll go file, we'll go view, we'll go sprint views.py. We'll add that to the source. We'll import. It's Django.http. Sorry, it should be from Django.db. No, HTTP. Import HTTP response and HTTP response bad request. And I realize I don't have my chat window on that window. So I'm just going to pop that out. For those that don't know, I have a super wide screen. So chat secretly lives over there so I can see it. There we go. You gotta sleep. Or not a pip. Not gonna let me hear the end of it. Fair enough, Don. I sleep with, so I must as well. I'm gonna watch your stuff back though, since I'm supposed to be picking up this kind of stuff again. Okay, thank you very much. But do take care and hope. Thank you very much, Don and Cel, for the raid. It is greatly appreciated. So yes, have a great night. Or morning. I'm assuming it is over there. I'm assuming where you are. Alright, so we've got that. So we want the CRUD. So we want def, we want new, I've forgotten the whole entire word. Sprint. We're just going to put it on request at the moment. Oh, we need destination and location ID for that. At the moment, we're just going to return HTTP response and nothing. That is fine. Yes, it's morning. Fair enough. Oh God, the other night, I'm going into a little bit of rant because it's at the end of the stream. It is fine. So at the end of the stream on Friday, I forgot when I finished. I think it was well past 10. Not that I cared. It was Friday. So I did a release. So I did 0.31.0 release. A bit later, after the stream, I updated production. I found out 0.31 0.31.0 does not work. I was sad. So I was up till about 4:30 a.m. Trying to figure it out, reading all the documents and stuff like that. I then fell asleep around about this time after giving up. I then woke up around about 11 a.m. and I continued again after about 6 hours sleep. I then fixed it around about, I think, 12:30 p.m. And boy, was I tired. So, yeah. And then I wrote probably the worst blog post I've ever written. I do have to go back and actually proofread it again and change everything. But the long story short, so it was essentially doing this. No module named NearBeach. Have a look at the wheel. Specifically the size of the wheel. It wasn't packaging up NearBeach into the wheel. So I was using the setup tools. That is really thin text. I do apologize that I do think that doesn't transfer very well over stream. But what I will implement a code block in the future. So that was the setup tools. The instant I changed to the hatchling, everything started working again. I'm like, all right, cool. Hatchling it is. I am doing a deploy. This is going out very quickly. So at 12:30, I had pretty much, that was it. I'm like, I'm giving up. This is it. This is it. I'm not perfecting it anymore. I'm not changing anything or anything like that. If we actually have a look at the release tags, we can actually see my madness. So 031 RC6, that was 5 days ago. Then 031 was 3 days ago. Then 031 1. And then I didn't push out 031.2 on GitHub, but I pushed it out on PYPI. And that wasn't working. I should have, in my exhaustion, I should have actually jumped straight onto the PYPI testing, because that way I could just version up these numbers like there's no tomorrow, and I wouldn't have had to do this. So, of course, now I'm at 0.31.3. After 3 days, it looks like on average I'm releasing a day, which, nah. So, yeah. Anyway, I need to go back and actually clean up this article and make it make sense. So, yep, prolific. That's why you got to use NearBeach. Not because I had the build stuff not work. No. I pushed it to PYPI. It's all automated now. What I should have done was actually gone back to manual and pushed it to the dev PYPI and tested that way. It is now automated, and the best thing is this 031.3. That one was me just doing this release and it being all automated, and it's great. I'm gonna say it takes me 5 minutes now. The one small little thing, which reminds me, Git flow, GitHub release, is it didn't create the releases on GitHub as expected. So it just created a branch, put it on here, and then I had to manually create these releases. So it might be one of those things where I have to think about it. Yeah, and how this will work properly. But that's also, it might be one of those things that I'm like missing a config or something like that. So yeah, I'll have to think about this. And yeah. But otherwise, 031.3, that one was released perfectly. And that's what I'm currently on. So if we go to prod, we've got 0.31.3. So yeah. And 35 is the number to beat. Because we did, excluding release candidates, we did 35 releases for the 0.30 branch. So, yeah. But I don't foresee us doing that many releases. Because this branch is mostly about getting new features in and so forth like that. Maybe later. It might be one of those things that I just continue with the 0.31 and then stabilize it. I do want to head towards beta this year. Or should I say 1.0. So I do want to achieve that, hopefully this year. So there's a couple of things which I want to include into this. And I just closed production. So let's jump into production so you can see my thinking process. One thing is, yeah, I do want to improve the testing, the code coverage. Documentation I want to improve. Well, before that, I want to implement a few more quick and easy dashboard widgets and so forth like that. But the major things that I want to implement is, of course, the sprints and Gantt charts. I want to implement OAuth and two-factor login. And that's what I want to get in for, and also potentially translating the application. Yeah, so that's what I want to get in to that. That being said, I've got to be careful of feature creep. Because at one particular point, I've got to be like, will this either make 1.0 or will it just be just an extra little tiny nice thing to have? So I've got to draw a line in the sand at one particular point and be like, no, these are nice to haves. They can come after 1.0. So yes, that's where I'm heading. Whether or not 0.31 is the last, I don't think 0.31 is going to be the last one. I think there might be a 0.32, but we don't know yet. There's no hard and fast rules around these particular versions at the moment. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get back into the coding. So we've done the CRUD, so sprint. We need... So create the read. All right, so we need def list sprint. So we've got request, we've got the destination and location ID. So that will be list sprints. And return HTTP response of nothing. Oh no, I just spelled that wrong. But also there'll be sprint information, LMNO PQRS. So we need def sprint information. That will be request and sprint ID. So that will return HTTP response. All right, cool. From here, we need update. So we need to def sprint information save. So that will be request sprint ID, return HTTP response, like so. And we need delete. So def delete sprint. There'll be request, and that will be sprint ID. And return HTTP response. Okay, so we got the create. Yeah, we got the create sprint. because that will be new sprints. That'll be off destination location ID. There won't be any way else we can create. Oh, we need to search sprints. And that will be just a simple request. So one method of this that we want to do is we want the ability people go find objects and list all of that. So we'll actually implement that feature in right now. Now I'm just wondering whether or not we want to include it in here or somewhere else. And terribly sorry about the ad break currently on. Okay. So we've got search data, search customers, search group, search notifications. Yeah, it looks like we've got everything in here. Okay. OP, QRS. Okay. So I'm going to have to put sprints in here. All right, so I'm putting sprints in here at the moment. We don't actually, we don't need to put permissions on this because the permissions will be based off the requirement and project. If they go in here and there's no sprints, that's because, and there are actually sprints in the system, it means they don't have access to those sprints, which is fine. So we don't need to put anything in here. So def search sprints, search sprint request, args and our quags like so. We're just returning that for the moment. We'll build up a proper screen in a minute. So yeah, that's not going to be an issue. Hey Peanut. Anyway, sorry. Cat's just staring at me. So, the reason why I've had a lookup for that, we then want to get rid of that. So, and then I press the F1 key. So, we've got new sprint information save. We've got delete, we've got lists. So, we've got basic CRUD here. The list sprints will be used for the, not for the search itself, but actually for the objects. View sprint will be for when they're creating a new sprint. You can only create a new sprint against a project or requirement. Sprint information is that particular sprint's page, which will have its own sort of thing and so forth like that. And then sprint information. So let's key stuff into the templates. So template NearBeach, we want the partials, and then we want the header with the menu itself. What we want to do is we want list all and then list sprints. I want list all objects and then list sprints. All right, cool. I am just going to go list objects. List all, sorry. All right, so here's list all. We're just going to yank and paste it. And then here we're going to go search sprint. List all objects. And then we want list sprints. Like so. And then we need to go to the URLs. We need to go search. So we've got search data, search group data, customers, and so forth like that. So what we want to do element op qrs. So we want to go down here, go path, search, sprint. Simple as that. Search views dot search sprint. Yeah, name equals search sprint. Yeah, it's not gonna be that hard. All right, so I'm gonna do a refresh. This is prod. I definitely don't want to do that on prod. I want to do a refresh. I want to then go, there we go, list all objects, list sprints. Then you got customers and organizations, and then tags at the bottom. All right, and we've got nothing on this page at the moment. That's perfectly fine. Let's start building up the template. We'll build up the templates where we need the ones with the templates. We're going to ignore any views that don't need templates. So search definitely needs a template. So we want NearBeach, templates, NearBeach. We want to open up. Now, this is all for the search. I'm actually going to copy the search customers because it's pretty much going to be pretty much the same. Instead of customers, we're going to go sprints or sprints. Yeah, sprints. I'm going to add it in. We're going to delete these 4 lines and we're going to go hello world. Search for sprints now. Cool. So under the search views, what we currently need. Ooh, all right. We've got. We really only need to search for stuff that's opened or current. However, that being said, we do want to toggle it between between having stuff and not having stuff. So I'm just having a quick look at what I've done with the search. So with the list all objects, I think all of this is, this is brought in. And then, because we're going to copy this, we're including closed objects button here. By default, it's off. So if we actually tick that, you'll notice it actually sends a data request. This page actually updates. So it's include closed objects. So if we actually go into the search itself and go to the search information, so under search, we've got a form search objects. So I'm going to go to that implementation. We've got include close and the search. We kind of want that because we still want this little thing like here because of the naming convention. All right, so form is valid, HTTP, form errors. So it's going to be the same as that. We've got the template. And then we've got that to translate everything down into it. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much the same as this. I am going to copy this. I'm going to cheat. All right, we'll edit it. We'll edit it. Don't you worry. Panic a little. I'm going to paste this in. We're going to remove this. So form search objects. That's going to be the exact same. We're happy with that. With this, we actually want to change this to search sprints.html. All right. We still need to translate data. We're happy with that. That's perfectly fine. And include close, need tiny mouse files. So this we search sprints. Search input, we're passing through the search input itself, which is what we want. We don't want that to change. The reason being is in NearBeach, you can actually search for that up there, and notice how admin gets filled in here and automatically. So yeah. Actually, this won't pass through because we're not searching for it through that method. So no, that won't pass through. Get search results. This will be, all right, this will be what we deal with up here. So in get theme will be get theme. So what we want is we want sprint results in here. I'm just going to go sprint results like so. Easy done. So I'm just trying to think. Sprint results equals sprint dot objects dot filter is deleted equals false. And yeah, this is where we need that extra other information. So this is the get search object results where we get all of this. This is all, don't worry too much about this. Include close. All right, we'll have to fix this up at a later date. So what we want we want sprint. We're going to add in a to-do. Fix this. Add in the ability to filter and remove any closed smiley face. And then we've got the context and all that kind of stuff. Oh, we need to, yeah, we need to serialize it and stuff like that. All right. I'm going to do that. We're just going to get the template up. So, list sprints. Hello world. Here's the sprints. All right, sweet. For the last thing I want to do tonight is let's have a look at the sprint views. We want the sprint information. So what we'll need is get the template. So from up here, from Django.shortcuts.import template. All right, I've forgotten it. Let's have a look. Where's my template loader? Django.template.load. Okay. From Django.template import loader. Okay, cool. So list sprints, no, that's going to be JSON. New sprint, no, sprint information, get the template. So t equals loader dot get template. And then we're going to have NearBeach. And then we're going to have over here, we're going to quickly do this. We're going to have a directory and go sprints. And then in here, we're going to go and absolutely copy the project information. We're going to paste it in. We're going to have sprint information. We're going to go add. We're going to delete these 30 lines and undo, and delete these 20 lines and undo, and delete these 10 lines, and then delete these 5 lines, and then delete these 4 lines. And then we're going to go h2 hello world please someone add in this extra bit of data. Smiley face. All right, sweet. So what we want is the template, NearBeach, sprints, sprint information, like so. We'll add in a context. We won't add everything into the context at the moment because I just want this rendered out. So what we need to do is C render T request. No, that's not it. T.render. Ah, C request. All right, cool. So we don't have a sprint at the moment to test it. I'm happy where we are tonight. Let's git status, git add. I'm gonna say add everything there. Git commit. Initial sprints. Built the models and some templates and views. He's gonna get me to push set upstream origin feature sprints. So yeah. All right, I am gonna grab Peanut. We're gonna give her a little tiny treat because she's been really well. And then I'm probably gonna raid someone. So give me a couple of seconds. Alright, treats. Come on, Peanut. Treats. She's like lying on the floor, being like, what? Sleepy. There it goes, sweetie. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I'll zoom in. Oh well, really pan. Oh no, there's more in your bed. Oh, she knocked it off the desk. Alright, come on, sweetie. Come on. There's more in your bed. Here you go. Yep, there you go. Hey, Charlie. Yeah. The other one. All right. Peanut is being a bit cheeky. All right. Nope. Anyway, let's find someone to raid. Okay. Oh, we got Togbit. We got the Chuno. Got Pirate Software. Oh, we haven't raided Pirate Software in a while. Let's see what they're doing.
You have to upgrade the ferret stream.
Oh. Alright. I know.
What is the point?
Raid?
The point hole is when you throw points into a hole, and then I calculate how many points have gone into the hole. That right there. There we go.
Alright. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We have finally gotten the sprint started. I feel like we can get this, I might turn him down a little bit more. I feel like we could potentially get this sorted by the end of the month. Hopefully we can get this sorted by the end of the month. And then we can build in the functionality around the Gantt charts and so forth like that into it also. So I'm looking forward to that. I will need a lot of help with the design of that. But otherwise, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming, and I do hope you enjoy Prior Software's stream. So yeah, thank you.
This is good. The notifications are now at 195. I'm upset.